In the heart of Medina, a city revered by billions, lies a place of profound silence and immense historical weight, Jannat Al-Baqi. Often seen by pilgrims rushing through the Prophet's city, its unassuming gates guard stories that shaped a global faith. For centuries, this sacred ground has been the final resting place for many of the most pivotal figures in Islamic history. But what truly lies beneath its sands, and why does this quiet cemetery draw the hearts of millions across the globe? We embark on a journey to uncover its untold narratives. Jannat Al-Baqi, meaning the Garden of Baqi, holds a unique distinction. Historical records indicate its establishment as a cemetery shortly after the Prophet Muhammad's migration to Medina in 622 CE. It became the designated burial ground for the early Muslim community. Prior to this, burial practices were less formalized. The choice of this land, near the Prophet's mosque, underscored its immediate significance. It wasn't merely a place to bury the dead, it was a physical testament to the burgeoning Muslim identity and community in Medina from its earliest days. The first companion to be buried in Al-Baqi was Uthman ibn Maz'un, a close companion and foster brother of the Prophet Muhammad. Historical accounts, such as those narrated in Sahih Muslim, detail how the Prophet himself participated in his funeral and marked his grave with a stone. This act, documented in early Islamic traditions, set a precedent. Subsequently, whenever a member of the Prophet's family or a revered companion passed away, they were laid to rest in Baqi. It quickly transformed from a simple burial ground into a sacred necropolis, directly blessed by the Prophet's presence and actions. Among the most poignant sections of Al-Baqi are the graves of the Prophet Muhammad's own family. His beloved son, Ibrahim, who passed away in infancy, rests here, a testament to the Prophet's personal sorrows alongside his public mission. His revered daughters, Ruqayyah, Kulthum, and Zainab, also lie within these grounds, their lives woven into the fabric of early Islam. Historical reports consistently indicate these burials, underscoring Baqi's role as a family cemetery for the Prophet himself, a place where his most intimate losses unfolded, witnessed by his companions. Many of the Prophet Muhammad's wives, known as the mothers of the believers, also found their final rest in Baqi. This includes Aisha, the beloved and scholarly wife, whose narrations are foundational to Islamic jurisprudence, and Hafsa, the keeper of the first complete manuscript of the Quran. Their presence here signifies their immense roles not only as wives but as educators, leaders, and pillars of the early Muslim community. Accounts from numerous Islamic texts affirm their burials, highlighting their collective legacy in preserving and transmitting the Prophet's teachings and Sunnah. One of the most prominent figures buried here is Uthman ibn Affan, the third Caliph of Islam. His story is one of immense generosity, piety, and ultimately, great tragedy. He oversaw the compilation and standardization of the Quran, a monumental effort that unified the Muslim world. Yet, his caliphate ended in political turmoil and assassination. His burial in Baqi, initially outside the main cemetery walls according to some reports, later incorporated into it, reflects the complex history of early Islam. His sacrifice for the Quran remains a cornerstone of his enduring legacy, a sacrifice keenly felt by millions who visit his resting place. Beyond the family and caliphs, Baqi is also home to numerous martyrs, those who gave their lives in defense of Islam. Among them are many who fell during the Battle of Uhud, a pivotal early confrontation. While the main martyrs of Uhud are buried at the mountain itself, several prominent companions who later passed away or were brought to Medina for burial found their resting place here. Their sacrifices were instrumental in the survival and spread of the nascent Muslim community. Their graves, though simple, represent the profound cost of establishing a new faith in a hostile world, a testament to unwavering conviction. Why do millions of Muslims journey to this quiet cemetery, often spending hours in contemplation? The answer lies in a deep spiritual connection. For many, visiting Baqi is a tangible link to the lives and sacrifices of those who walked alongside the Prophet Muhammad. It's an opportunity to reflect on their unwavering faith, their perseverance through hardship, and their profound devotion. Pilgrims come not to worship the graves, but to remember and honor those who laid the foundations of Islam, to draw inspiration from their stories, and to feel closer to a pivotal period of their faith's history. Unlike many elaborate mausoleums found in other historical sites, the graves in Jannat Al-Baqi are strikingly simple. They are marked by plain stones, sometimes with a small, unadorned mound of earth. This simplicity adheres to early Islamic teachings that discourage ostentatious displays at graves, emphasizing humility in death. This stark contrast often prompts visitors to reflect on the transient nature of worldly possessions and the ultimate equality of all human beings before God. The lack of grandeur itself becomes a powerful statement, reinforcing the core values of early Islam. The companions buried in Baqi were not just followers, they were guardians of the nascent Islamic tradition. They memorized and transmitted the Quran, preserved the Prophet's sayings, hadith, and lived out his teachings daily. Their lives, struggles, and sacrifices provided the living commentary on the Quran and the blueprint for future Muslim generations. Without their dedication, much of the Prophet's legacy might have been lost to time. Baqi, therefore, becomes a symbol of this collective guardianship, a quiet library of lives dedicated to preserving divine guidance. The sacrifices made by those buried in Baqi were immense. They left their homes, faced persecution, endured hunger, and fought battles for the sake of their faith. Many lost loved ones, some even their own lives, to establish Islam. These were not theoretical commitments but lived realities of hardship. For example, the early migrants, Muhajirun, abandoned all their possessions in Mecca. This profound commitment, detailed in historical narratives like Ibn Ishaq's Sirat Rais al-Allah, resonates deeply with visitors, who see in these simple graves the weight of faith-driven struggle. The stories emanating from Baqi are not just about loss, but about incredible steadfastness. Faced with overwhelming odds, the early Muslims persevered. They built a community, established justice, and spread a message of peace and monotheism. Their steadfastness in the face of adversity, their loyalty to the Prophet, and their unwavering belief in their mission are qualities that continue to inspire Muslims worldwide. The quiet dignity of Baqi serves as a powerful reminder that even in death, their resolve speaks volumes, a beacon for all who seek strength in their faith. Over the centuries, Jannat Al-Baqi has undergone periods of change and continuity. Historical records and travelogues describe various structures and markers that existed around some prominent graves, built by different Islamic dynasties. However, in the early 20th century, these structures were removed, restoring the cemetery to its current simple, open-air form with unmarked or simply marked graves. This decision, while controversial for some, was rooted in a particular interpretation of Islamic tenets against grave veneration, emphasizing humility and equality in death. This evolution reflects ongoing theological discussions within Islam regarding practice and tradition. Despite its austere appearance, Baqi is far from a desolate place. It pulses with the quiet energy of devotion. Visitors come not just to remember, but to pray for the deceased, seeking blessings for themselves and their families. They offer salutations to the Prophet's companions and household, hoping their prayers are accepted in this sacred vicinity. The atmosphere is one of profound tranquility and hope, a poignant reminder that death is not an end but a transition, and that the faithful are connected across time through prayer and shared heritage. The spiritual connection to Jannat Al-Baqi transcends geographical and temporal boundaries. For Muslims worldwide, the names buried here, Aisha, Uthman, Hassan, Abbas, are not just historical figures, they are spiritual guides and exemplars of faith. Their legacy continues to inform religious practice, ethics, and morality today. The cemetery stands as a silent testament to the enduring power of their lives, their sacrifices forming the bedrock of a civilization. Every pilgrim who stands before these simple graves is part of an unbroken chain of remembrance, reflection, and reverence. Jannat Al-Baqi is more than just a cemetery, it is a repository of Islamic history, a silent narrator of courage, devotion, and sacrifice. Each unmarked grave represents a life dedicated to a cause greater than oneself, a contribution that echoed through centuries. As we leave its peaceful embrace, we carry not just facts, but a profound emotional connection to those who walk before us. Their untold stories are whispered in the wind, felt in the hearts of visitors, and continue to shape the spiritual landscape of Islam. It is a legacy that remains eternally vibrant, eternally relevant.